Most podcasters go broke chasing downloads, but one specific adjustment to your funnel changes the math entirely. When I pivoted my own show to this three-step framework, revenue jumped from 0 to 4 figures in 30 days. While amateurs obsess over episode counts, top creators focus on the third step, a high-ticket conversion bridge. It is the single overlooked mechanic responsible for 90% of actual profit, and it starts today. Sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and let's get into the mechanics of building a show that pays for itself and then some. The first step is moving away from the common misconception that you need a massive audience to start making money. Most creators think they need 10,000 downloads per episode to get a sponsor, but that is a trap that keeps people stuck in a cycle of waiting for permission. Instead, you need to focus on what industry experts call the high trust threshold. Take the story of Jordan Harbinger. When he started his new show after leaving his previous one, he did not rely on vanity metrics. He focused on direct monetization through affiliate partnerships and a proprietary model where his listeners became his biggest advocates. He did not chase the advertisers who pay peanuts for impressions. He sought out the brands that his specific, highly educated audience was already using. Think about that for a second. You do not need a million ears. You need 1,000 people who truly value your perspective. If you have 1,000 listeners and you offer them a product that helps them solve a specific problem, you can generate a full-time income with a fraction of the traffic. This is the easy win. Start by documenting the tools and resources you use to solve your own problems and pitch those companies on affiliate relationships. You bypass the middleman of traditional podcast ad networks who take 50% of your revenue anyway. Now, here is where things start to get interesting. Once you have validated your audience through direct relationships, you need to layer in a scalable product ecosystem. This is the level up. Most podcasters act like a radio show. They just talk into a microphone and hope a paycheck comes in the mail. That is not a business. That is a broadcast. A business requires a funnel. Look at the numbers from a 2024 study by the IAB or the Interactive Advertising Bureau. They found that podcasts with associated digital products like paid workshops or exclusive community access grow their revenue at 4 times the rate of those solely relying on dynamic ad insertion. If you are providing value in your episodes, you should be offering a deeper dive for a price. Let us say you host a podcast about gardening. Instead of just talking about soil, you create a comprehensive digital guide on seasonal planting for your specific climate. You offer it for $20. Even if only 1% of your listeners buy it, the math changes instantly. You aren't just a podcaster anymore. You are a content-led business owner. If this is clicking for you, hit the subscribe button. We are about to cover the most important part of this whole equation, the one that actually scales. All right, remember how I said there was a third method that beats the others combined? This is it. It is called the white label partnership model. Most people try to sell spots on their show to brands that have no idea how podcasting works. They go to a big software company and say, "Hey, will you sponsor my show?" The company says, "Sure, run a 30-second ad." You run the ad, nobody clicks, the brand cancels the deal, and you are back to zero. The white label model flips the script entirely. You approach a company not as a billboard, but as an extension of their marketing department. You go to them and say, "I know your customers have a specific pain point. I will produce a 3-episode miniseries dedicated to solving that pain point, featuring your subject matter experts as guests, and we will package this as a resource for your existing client base." You aren't just selling an ad, you are selling a content asset. Because the brand owns this content, they will promote it to their own email list, their own social media, and their own partners. Suddenly, your podcast is being marketed by a company with a massive budget, not by you alone. I saw a creator in the productivity niche do this with a project management software platform. He did not just read a script. He interviewed the software engineers about how they built the product. The company paid him $10,000 for the production and distribution rights to that series, which stayed on his show as high-value content. That is a payday that would take 3 years of traditional ad revenue to match. It is not just about having a show. It is about providing a service that brands desperately need but cannot produce themselves. Let that sink in. You stop being a creator asking for coins in a cup and start being a production partner who solves a strategic business problem. That one shift alone changes everything about your financial future. You are no longer vulnerable to the whims of algorithms or the fluctuating CPM rates of ad networks. You are building equity. You are building an asset. You can start this today by simply auditing your current episodes. Ask yourself, which segment provided the most utility? Who would benefit from this information? And which company is currently trying to reach that same group of people? When you connect those two dots, you aren't just a podcaster. You are a consultant with a microphone. The barriers to entry are lower than they have ever been, but the barrier to profitability is clarity. Once you see the landscape this way, you realize the podcast is merely the vehicle for your expertise, not the end destination. So, there you have it. 3 distinct, actionable ways to start a podcast that makes real money. Start with the high trust threshold through affiliate partnerships to prove your model works. Scale by building a product ecosystem so you are capturing value beyond simple listenership. Then, maximize by acting as a white label content producer for brands that need to reach your niche audience. If you got value from this breakdown, share it with someone who is sitting on the fence about starting their own show. It might be the push they need to turn their passion into a career. Subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the next deep dive into the business of creativity. I have an upcoming piece on how to build a listener community that actually sustains your business even when you take a hiatus, and you are not going to want to miss that. Keep building, keep recording, and remember, your voice has more leverage than you think. See you in the next one.